consciousness. The general state of being aware of and responsive to events in the environment, as well as one's own mental processes. Circadian rhythms. Internally generated patterns of body functions, including hormonal signals, sleep, blood pressure, and temperature regulation, which have approximately a 24-hour cycle and occur even in the absence of normal cues about whether it is day or night. Electroencephalogram. Graphical record of brainwave activity obtained through electrodes placed on the scalp and forehead. Rapid eye movement sleep. Stage of sleep characterized by high-frequency, low-amplitude brainwave activity, rapid and systematic eye movements, more vivid dreams, and pastoral muscle paralysis. Non-rapid eye movement sleep. 4 distinct stages of sleep during which no rapid eye movements occur. Insomnia. Problems in going to sleep or maintaining sleep. Dream. A state of consciousness that occurs during sleep, usually accompanied by vivid visual, tactile, or auditory imagery. Lucid dream. Dream in which the dreamer is aware of dreaming while it is happening. Manifest content. The overt storyline, characters, and setting of a dream, the obvious, clearly discernible events of the dream. Latent content. The deeper meaning of a dream, usually involving symbolism, hidden meaning, and repressed or obscured ideas and wishes. Collective unconscious. Jung's theory of a shared storehouse of primitive ideas and images that are inherited ideas and images, called archetypes, are emotionally charged and rich in meaning and symbolism. Descriptive studies. A type of research method that allows researchers to measure variables so that they can develop a description of a situation or phenomenon. Biofeedback. A process through which people receive information about the status of a physical system and use this feedback information to learn to control the activity of that system. Mediation. The use of a variety of techniques including concentration, restriction of incoming stimuli, and deep relaxation to produce a state of consciousness characterized by a sense of detachment. Drug. Any chemical substance that, in small amounts, alters biological or cognitive processes or both. Psychoactive drug. a drug that alters behavior, thought, or perception by altering biochemical reactions in the nervous system, thereby affecting consciousness. Tolerance. The characteristic of requiring higher and higher doses of a drug to produce the same effect. Dependence. The situation that occurs when the drug becomes part of the body's functioning and produces withdrawal symptoms when the drug is discontinued. Blood-brain barrier. A mechanism that prevents certain molecule from entering the brain but allows others to cross. Depressants. Any of a class of drugs that relax and calm a user and, in higher doses, induce sleep, also known as a depressant. Opiates. Drugs derived from the opium poppy, including opium, morphine, and heroin. Stimulant. A drug that increases alertness, reduces fatigue, and elevates mood. Hallucinogens. Consciousness-altering drugs that affect moods, thoughts, memory, judgment, and perception and that are consumed for the purpose of producing those results. Substance abuser. A person who overuses and relies on drugs to deal with everyday life. Withdrawal symptoms. The reaction experienced when a substance abuser stops using a drug with dependence properties. Preconscious. Level of consciousness that is outside awareness but contains feelings and memories that can easily be brought into conscious awareness. Unconscious. Level of consciousness that includes unacceptable feelings, wishes, and thoughts not directly available to conscious awareness. Nonconscious. The level of consciousness devoted to processes completely unavailable to conscious awareness. REM sleep. Sleep stage when the eyes move about, during which vivid dreams occur, brain very active but skeletal muscles paralyzed. Hypnosis. State with deep relaxation and heightened suggestibility. Selective detail. Focused on limited aspect. Alpha waves. Awake but relaxed state. Sleep. State of unconsciousness, unaware. Hallucinations. Sensory awareness without stimulus. Delta waves. Stage 3, large slow waves. Insomnia. Trouble falling, staying asleep. Narcolepsy. Sudden strong sleepiness REM. apnea, obstructive stop breathing, night terrors. During 3/4 HR increases, dreams, unconscious manifestations, manifest content, storyline of dreams, latent content, meaning behind dream, REM rebound effect, body making up missed sleep, hypnosis, based on willingness, openness, post-hypnotic amnesia, temporary memory loss, dissociation, levels of consciousness, hidden observer, passively aware of surroundings, psychoactive drugs. Drugs change mood and perspective. Withdrawal. Side effects after stopping substance. Physical dependence. Intense cravings for something, physically. Psychological dependence. Used for stress relieving, mentally. Depressants. Slows body system. Alcohol. Depressant beverage. Barbiturate. Tranquilizers relaxes brain activity. Opiates. Another type of depressant. Stimulant. Increases brain function. Amphetamine. Stimulant used in ADHD, narcolepsy. Hallucinogen. Marijuana distorts perception. LSD. Hallucinogen in marijuana. Near-death experience. Hallucinations, stage 1 experiences. Describe the difference in conscious awareness regulation produced by the left and right hemispheres of the brain. The left cerebral cortex appears to be responsible for verbal awareness, whereas the right cerebral cortex appears to be responsible for nonverbal forms of conscious awareness such as tactile awareness. Describe how consciousness may be rooted in language. Babies cannot reflect on their thoughts and behaviors because they cannot represent them with language. Due to this lack of language ability, some researchers argue that babies do not fully develop consciousness until approximately 22 months of age. Do we demonstrate heightened awareness of our actions when a task is novel or familiar? Explained how task familiarity is related to our sense of awareness. When we perform a new task that we are relatively inexperienced at, we are more likely to demonstrate heightened awareness. Well-learned and familiar tasks may become relatively automatic. Provide an example of information that exists at the unconscious level of thought. example that depicts that unconscious information is not readily accessible, yet it may guide our behavior. Describe the difference between explicit and implicit memory processes. Explicit memory is effortfully acquired and accessible to conscious awareness, whereas implicit memory is not effortfully acquired or consciously accessible. Describe 2 characteristics an individual must possess in order for the hypnotic process to work. Willingness to relinquish control over certain behaviors, openness and responsiveness to suggestions made by the hypnotist. Define post-hypnotic amnesia and provide an example in which this may occur. Information learned during the trance state is forgotten until the hypnotist provides a predetermined signal to remember it. Provide an applicable example. Describe how dissociation occurs and define the activities of the hidden observer during hypnosis. Consciousness splits into 2 parts, yet continues to act simultaneously during hypnosis. One part is fully tuned to the hypnotist's suggestions, while the other part, termed the hidden observer, operates at a less conscious level. Describe 3 techniques that can be used to obtain the deeply relaxing and pleasant feelings of a meditative state. Control breathing, assume a specific bodily position, limit outward attention, form internal images, etc. Describe 3 positive physiological effects of meditation. Meditation increases the brain waves that are present during the relaxation phase that occurs prior to sleep. Positive physiological results include decreased respiration, heart rate, blood pressure, and muscle tension. How do proponents of the adaptive theory of sleep explain the functionality of sleep? Because sleep is related to evolution and self-preservation, organisms sleep to keep themselves isolated in safe locations from nocturnal predators. Grazing animals sleep less because they forage for food, whereas animals with dens sleep more. What biochemical activity accompanies circadian rhythms? Explain how it is affected by the sleep-wake cycle. Body temperature increases throughout the day until we feel fatigued, at which time it declines. After an afternoon nap, body temperature will rise again until the time to sleep approaches, at which time it will decrease again. How does the presence of melatonin influence the sleep-wake cycle? The pineal gland secretes melatonin, which, when circulating in the blood, causes sleepiness. Melatonin production peaks between 1 and 3 a.m., then decreases as dawn approaches. This decrease in melatonin allows sleepers to awake. Why is REM sleep referred to as paradoxical sleep? Although the body is deeply relaxed during REM, there is considerable brain activity accompanied by increased heart rate and rapid, irregular breathing. Describe the most common sleep disorder and the factors that may cause it. Insomnia is the most common sleep disorder. People have difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and feeling rested after sleep. Insomnia can be triggered by daily stressors such as job pressures, financial difficulties, or relationship problems that cause anxiety while trying to sleep. Insomnia is also more common in elderly than younger adults. Describe the types of symptoms an individual who is addicted to a drug may experience during withdrawal. Withdrawal symptoms can be unpleasant and/or dangerous and may include cravings, nausea, cramping, sweating, anxiety, etc. Describe the types of psychological problems displayed by children of alcoholic parents. Low self-esteem, poor communication skills, lack of sociability, marital problems, etc. Describe the rush that accompanies opioid ingestion. Brief spasm of warmth and joy that is comparable to an orgasm followed by several hours of pleasant feelings during which the user is happy and unconcerned about food and other bodily needs. What types of diseases and disorders is smoking tobacco directly related to? Lung disease, high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, cancer, stroke. Describe the psychological impact of taking LSD. LSD ingestion results in hallucinosis, which is a stage marked by strengthened visual perception. Users of LSD may focus on minute details in their environments, detect changes in color, and experience illusions. People may also experience strong emotions that may not subside for up to 6 Describe reward deficiency syndrome. Research suggests that people who are likely to abuse drugs have reward centers in their brains that are not readily activated by rewarding events in their lives. They use drugs to obtain the stimulation they are naturally lacking. What group of individuals did Sperry and Gazzaniga investigate in their research programs to determine the roles played by the different hemispheres of the brain in regulating conscious split-brain patients? Mike said he hated his attorney. He meant to say that he waited on his attorney. What term is used to identify this slip of the tongue? Freudian slip. What is the purpose of psychoanalytic psychotherapy and dealing with unconscious material? To bring unconscious material into conscious awareness. Why is the ability to make intuitive and unconscious decisions under conditions of uncertainty important? According to the text, many of life's decisions involve conditions of uncertainty. Intuitive and unconscious decision-making allows us to quickly adapt to these types of situations. What percentage of the population reportedly cannot be hypnotized at all? 10%. What type of response has occurred when a predetermined signal prompts a response from a person after they have been roused from a hypnotic trance? Post-hypnotic. When hypnotized people are guided to see objects or hear sounds that are not present, what type of hallucination has occurred? Positive. Neuroimaging studies suggest that what part of the brain's cerebral cortex is most involved when hypnosis is used to reduce pain. Anterior cingulated cortex. What religious tradition is yoga associated with? Hindu. What is one of the greatest appeals of meditation? Stress reduction, relaxation. What happens to a vertebrate animal if it is prevented from sleeping? It dies. What term associated with the sleep pattern in humans is described as the biological clock? Circadian rhythm. What activity in stage 2 sleep includes bursts of brain activity that last 1 to 2 seconds? Sleep spindles. What sleep disorder is characterized by frequent awakening due to repeated instances in which an individual stops breathing? Sleep apnea. How are life events related to the amount of time one spends in REM sleep? Multiple stressful life events and extensive learning experiences are associated with increased REM sleep. What types of changes in a person's body clock are experienced during adolescence? During adolescence, the time at which a person's body clock makes one feel tired and ready for bed may be extended. For example, a person who felt ready for bed at 9 p.m. as a child may not feel ready for bed until 11 p.m. during adolescence. Name 2 mental processes psychoactive drugs can affect: awareness, perception, decision-making, etc. What term refers to needing more and more of a drug to feel its desired effects? Tolerance. Ethyl alcohol slows brain activity by binding to the receptor sites of which neurotransmitter. GABA. What condition of the liver may occur following long-term alcohol abuse? Cirrhosis. Name one common medical opioid that is currently used in the United States. Morphine, codeine. How is nicotine most commonly taken into the body? Smoking tobacco. What substances are known to produce dramatic changes in awareness by causing altered sensory perception? Hallucinogens, psychedelic drugs. What is the key neurotransmitter involved in the pleasure pathway utilized by drugs in the brain? Dopamine.